And now it's going to be Barron Mamiya up against Morgan Cibilic. Morgan getting back to some of his better surfing in the last round. But Barron Mamiya won a championship tour event as a wild card. It had been a long time. But during the break, Barron Mamiya got things started, Rich.
And great surfing here from the Hawaiian. This is a kid that is really settling into the World Championship Tour, and just have a look at the ferocity, ferocious snap as he grinds back into the power source. This guy really, really impresses me, just how explosive he is in these sections. Perhaps doesn't have that sort of connected flow of some of the other surfers like John Florence.
As we see Morgan now getting his campaign underway here in the round of 32. Love the way he just gets so low through that bottom turn.
Yeah, this is a great wave from Morgan, and this is the form that took him right up to the top section of the leaderboard last year, making the final five, and a great way to start things off. Critical heat here for Morgan Cibilic. He needs a result.
Yeah, he sure does. He's way down the back end of the ratings. A precarious position, equal 31st position, and Barron Mamiya got himself a second ride too.
Yeah, finding another one straight off the ski, and coming around this section here, flattens out a little bit. Roundhouse cutback, series of two cutbacks back into the foam, all the way through to the inside. Releases the tail so well. He's got that extra little spark that Kelly has where they...
Morgan's going to have him guessing. And we'll see if Barron lets him go. He does. Let's see what the young Aussie can throw at us. Wow. Drifts that tail and can't ride out of that first turn.
Yeah, positioning in the lineup so critical, because it's the difference between 2 turns and it's the difference between 3 to 4 turns. In the bowl section. Here we go, Barron Mamiya.
He had a 5.23 on his previous wave. Well positioned for a big carve here. And just like Joao Chianca, he just comes out of those turns with so much speed. This wave is starting to flatten out just a little bit already. He's going to stick with it though, just based on the strength of that first turn. He knows he might be on his way to something better than a 5.23. He can push the requirement higher for Morgan as he loads up.
Let's have a look at the replay. Barron Mamiya, I love the little hair flick, everything in time. That first turn was just super critical. Straight back up. I loved how he held the bottom turn, Ron, from that first hit straight into the second one. Sat on the bottom turn for a while and timed it perfectly. Flattened out a little bit, as it does, as these waves move off the Bells Bowl Reef. And Barron just building micro points through to the inside, finishes well. And he's got such a sure-footed stance, perhaps a little wider. See the outside fin almost out of the water. Oh, just so tight. Can see the fins just letting go slightly there. And the back knee just right on the deck of the board. Staying low, holds it, holds it, holds it. Now releases up into the lip. Brings the board straight back under his feet. Good wave for Morgan too. Oh, I just love this committed surfing from Morgan. He's looked a little bit tentative this year, but I feel like he's starting to find the form in this heat again. Bit more of a slopier wave through the inside, and Morgan needed to finish this one off. And the judges won't be fooled here. Just getting caught up in the whitewash. So advantage to Barron Mamiya, I feel like, in this exchange.
Yeah, the first turn was something special. Can only imagine how good that feels.
Oh,
to have that much speed through a big frontside carve. Morgan's on it as well. I think we've got a pretty similar situation to what we had in the last heat. You've got 2 guys that are ready to go. Then they get to the top of the stairs and we put a microphone in their face. You could tell he was still gassed, and he should be, because he put a lot into that heat. But here we go. Morgan having a look at this one. He kicks out. Really interesting, just the scores that are dropping for these 2 competitors. Big drawn-out carve to get started. Up into the pocket. Swings the reverse. Haven't seen too much of that on the outside section so far. And really just adding a dynamic move to a section that wasn't really presenting anything exciting. So just mixing it up, showing his variation, showing his progression, hammering through to the inside, and gets a nice little hit there. So it might come close to going into the that 6-point range. But the comparison will be, of course, with the absolutely mind-blowing turn that he did on the 633 before.
In terms of the risk of the manoeuvre, it just wasn't right up there. Let's see what happened here. Streaking down the line, the first turn, cuts it short at the perfect moment. He knew at that point he needed something pretty big. Goes for the air reverse. There wasn't a lot of height in it. Let's just be real here. You know, Bell's Bowl, it's hard to do airs out here. But if the judges want to, if you're expecting a big score from the judges, they want to see something with a bit of height, a bit of projection. The other thing too was to be really critical. When he came back down, he wasn't really positioned well on his board. Bit of downtime as he recorrected. That was impressive though.
You just never know though when you see something like this for the first time after a day of calves. You know, he definitely got some height out of it. He got that tail nice and high. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it.
He's been starting to click, but he hasn't been entirely satisfied with what he's done and the opportunity that he's been given. I feel like he's going to get right in the zone here.
Well, we wanted to see how this new generation was going to tackle the Bell's Bowl, and they've been on the attack. It's the only way to describe it, just throwing everything at it. Barron Mamiya just hammering this medium-sized wave as he rolls through to the inside. He has the lead. He's been trying to get rid of a 6.33.
And here's Barron Mamiya's last wave. What I really like about Barron's surfing, he's got slightly wider stance and he's very front-footed. It's like that front foot's the foundation of his approach, and then that back leg gets nice and low and it's steering his board, controlling all the manoeuvres.
He's got a bit of a sharper edge off the bottom, Barron, doesn't he? It's sort of setting him up for a bit more of a vertical approach.
Watch his weight. It's all on the front foot. And then that back foot just steering the board around. See how low the knee gets to the gets onto the deck of the board as he's driving out of these turns.
And Morgan Cibilic, who's been so patient with priority. He's got a bit of a wall here, standing up. Now starting to back off into deeper water for a moment. It's going to go again, and he's committed to finishing this one off. We'll have to get to the replay to see what kind of work he did on that outside section. But he will try and stamp this ride with something special right on the shore break in front of a building crowd. And that'll work. That'll feel good after a 6.41 when he's on a wave and just getting back on the attack.
Oh, wow. I'll open things up with a kind of a two-stage carve and just rapid fire after that. So Morgan Cibilic, great wave here. And, well, I think he's going to go quite close to the score.
He kind of rode through a bit of a speed bump, didn't he, as he went hammering through that first carve.
He sort of hit it, got him off balance. He regained very, very quickly. Finished well. I like that.
We mentioned that result and the big win at Sunset Beach. Morgan, on the other hand, he's trying to get out of this third round for the first time this year. He's had a 33rd, and he needs to make his move. He wants to make it now. And that last wave didn't work out for him. So this is Barron having a shot at the lead now. 7.37 is the requirement. There's the first hiccup from the Hawaiian, really. All his scores have been pretty solid, all above 5. But Morgan Cibilic starting to just settle into this strong position that he's found himself in now.
Yeah, and I feel like on this wave in particular, Morgan's just gone into a new gear. Out in front, he's taken the lead back, and now he's really starting to open up. It's stressful being in that position when you're way down on the rankings and you know you need a result. You're sort of in the back of your mind, you're trying not to surf each wave defensively. You're still trying to be in that attack position, and this is where he was on this wave. You can tell he's just opening up. He looks freer on this wave. Holding that turn really, really well. You could see he was right on the edge of skipping out, straight into the second one. And Morgan starting to connect.
He did deeper bottom turns on that wave, didn't he?
Yep.
Than he's done so far. They're counting it down, and this wave I don't think he's going to arrive in time. He was after a 7.76. But again, these youngsters, 22 years of age, Barron Mamiya. And yeah, I can't wait to see him pull on the jersey once again. It's always entertaining.